Section 16 of Popular Tales from the Norse. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Popular Tales from the North by Sir George Webb Descent. Section 16. The Giant Who Had No Heart in His Body. Once upon a time, there was a king who had 7 sons, and he loved them so much that he could not bear to be without them all at once, but one must always be with him. Now, when they were grown up, 6 were to set off to woo, but as for the youngest, his father kept him at home, and the others were to bring back a princess for him to the palace. So the king gave the 6 the finest clothes he ever set eyes on, so fine that the light gleamed from them a long way off, and each had his horse, which cost many, many $100, and so they set off. Now, when they had come to many palaces and seen many princesses, at last they came to a king who had 6 daughters, such lovely king's daughters they had never seen, and so they fell to wooing them, each one. And when they had got them for sweethearts, they set off home again, but they quite forgot that they were to bring back with them a sweetheart for Boots, their brother, who stayed at home, for they were head over heels in love with their own sweethearts. But when they had gone a good bit on their way, they passed close by a steep hillside, like a wall, where the giant's house was, and there the giant came out and set his eyes upon them, and turned them all into stone, princes and princesses and all. Now the king waited, and waited for his 6 sons, but the more he waited, the longer they stayed away. So he fell into great trouble, and said he should never know what it was like to be glad again. "And if I had not you left," he said to Boots, "I would live no longer, so full of sorrow am I for the loss of your brothers." "Well, but now I've been thinking to ask your leave to set out and find them again. That's what I'm thinking of," said Boots. "Nay, nay," said his father, "that leave you shall never get, for then you would stay away too." But Boots had set his heart upon it. Go he would, and he begged and prayed so long that the king was forced to let him go. Now, you must know the king had no other horse to give Boots, but an old broken-down jade, for his 6 other sons and their train had carried off all his horses. But Boots did not care a pin for that. He sprang up on his sorry old steed. "Farewell, father," said he. "I'll come back, never fear, and like enough I shall bring my 6 brothers back with me." And with that he rode off. So, when he had ridden a while, he came to a raven which lay in the road and flapped its wings, and was not able to get out of the way, it was so starved. "Oh, dear friend," said the raven, "give me a little food, and I'll help you again at your utmost need." "I haven't much food," said the prince, "and I don't see how you'll ever be able to help me much. But still I can spare you a little. I see you want it." So he gave the raven some of the food he had brought with him. Now, when he had gone a bit farther, he came to a brook, and in that brook lay a great salmon, which had got upon a dry place, and dashed itself about, and could not get into the water again. "Oh, dear friend," said the salmon to the prince, "shove me out into the water again, and I'll help you again at your utmost need." "Well," said the prince, "the help you'll give me will not be great, I dare say, but it's a pity you should lie there and choke." And with that he shot the fish out into the stream again. After that he went a long, long way, and there he met a wolf, which was so famished that it lay and crawled along the road on its belly. "Dear friend, do let me have your horse," said the wolf. "I'm so hungry the wind whistles through my ribs. I've had nothing to eat these 2 years." "No," said Boots, "this will never do. First I came to a raven, and I was forced to give him my food. Next I came to a salmon, and him I had to help into the water again, and now you will have my horse? It can't be done, that it can't, for then I shall have nothing to ride on." "Nay, dear friend, but you can help me," said Greylegs the wolf. "You can ride upon my back, and I'll help you again at your utmost need." "Well, the help I shall get from you will not be great, I'll be bound," said the prince. "But you may take my horse, since you are in such need." So when the wolf had eaten the horse, Boots took the bit and put it into the wolf's jaw, and laid the saddle on his back. And now the wolf was so strong after what he had got inside, that he set off with the prince like nothing. So fast he had never ridden before. "When we have gone a bit farther," said Greylegs, "I'll show you the giant's house." So after a while they came to it. "See, here is the giant's house," said the wolf. "And see, here are your 6 brothers, whom the giant has turned into stone. And see, here are their 6 brides, and away yonder is the door, and in that door you must go." "Nay, but I daren't go in," said the prince. "You'll take my life." "No, no," said the wolf. "When you get in, you'll find a princess, and she'll tell you what to do to make an end of the giant. Only mind and do as she bids you." Well, Boots went in, but truth to say he was very much afraid. When he came in, the giant was away, but in one of the rooms sat the princess, just as the wolf had said, and so lovely a princess Boots had never yet set eyes on. "Oh, heaven help you! Whence have you come?" said the princess as she saw him. "It will surely be your death. No one can make an end of the giant who lives here, for he has no heart in his body." "Well, well," said Boots, "but now I am here, I may as well try what I can to do with him, and I will see if I can't free my brothers, who are standing turned to stone out of doors, and you too I will try to save, that I will." "Well, if you must, you must," said the princess, "and so let us see if we can't hit on a plan. Just creep under the bed yonder, and mind and listen to what he and I talk about, but pray do lie as still as a mouse." So he crept under the bed, and he had scarce got well underneath it before the giant came. "Ha!" roared the giant, "what a smell of Christian blood there is in the house!" "Yes, I know there is," said the princess, "for there came a magpie flying with a man's bone, and let it fall down the chimney. I made all haste I could to get it out, but all one can do, the smell doesn't go off so soon." So the giant said no more about it, and when night came, they went to bed. After they had lain a while, the princess said, "There is one thing I'd be so glad to ask you about if I only dared." "What thing is that?" asked the giant. "Only, where is it you keep your heart, since you don't carry it about you?" said the princess. "Ah, that's a thing you've no business to ask about, but if you must know, it lies under the door-sill," said the giant. "Ho, ho!" said Boots to himself under the bed. "Then we'll soon see if we can't find it." Next morning the giant got up cruelly early, and strode off to the woods, but he was hardly out of the house before Boots and the princess set to work to look under the door-sill for his heart. But the more they dug, and the more they hunted, the more they couldn't find it. "He has balked us this time," said the princess, "but we'll try him once more." So she picked all the prettiest flowers she could find, and strewed them over the door-sill, which they had laid in its right place again, and when the time came for the giant to come home again, Boots crept under the bed. Just as he was well under, back came the giant. Snuff, snuff, went the giant's nose. "My eyes and limbs, what a smell of Christian blood there is in here," said he. "I know there is," said the princess, "for there came a magpie flying with a man's bone in his bill, and let it fall down the chimney. I made as much haste as I could to get it out, but I dare say it's that you smell." So the giant held his peace and said no more about it. A little while after, he asked who it was that had strewed flowers over the door-sill. "Oh, I, of course," said the princess. "And pray, what's the meaning of all this?" said the giant. "Ah," said the princess, "I'm so fond of you that I couldn't help strewing them when I knew that your heart lay under there." "You don't say," said the giant, "but after all it doesn't lie there at all."